And welcome back, everybody, to the next episode of our Rise of the Runelords campaign. We have, finally, a full party. How are we all doing? I think this is the first time we've had a full party in a few weeks.
Pretty good, pretty good.
Fantastic.
Fantastic.
Are we unmuted?
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. I did remember to do that for once.
Awesome. I am sorry I missed last week's, and I'm looking forward to this week.
I'm ready to cause chaos.
Ready to cause chaos. When are you not, though? Thanks, Curdles. Appreciate that.
I watched the VOD, and I still think Saf is the murderer.
I mean, probably. We're just gonna say, yeah, most likely, entirely, 100%. No questions asked.
I mean, like, I'm pretty sure it's not foreign.
I mean, like, I'm pretty sure it could be. It's the quiet ones you gotta watch.
So, the person who robbed Voren's house before, I'm wondering if that's got anything to do with the murders.
Who knows?
Who knows?
Let's find out
Mm.
next week on Dragon
We
Ball
will.
Z.
Next week on Dragon Ball Z.
Did you brew any special kind of tea? You know, if we get ourselves a bloodhound, could we track your teapot?
Got a new one. I don't need to track it. It's fine.
It's fine.
Clearly, they needed it more than I did.
Obviously.
Hmm.
So,
as well as my apron and my hammer and a couple other things, but
a lot of things.
Yeah.
How you feeling
you
there,
guys
Lauren?
don't know about all those things.
Yeah, no. You only know about the teapot, which is quite possibly the funniest thing for you guys, for everyone to know about.
Yeah.
So, when we last left our intrepid heroes of Sandpoint, they had just been deputized by Sheriff Hemlock and asked to investigate the murders that had occurred recently. And they were led to the Sawmill, right here. For everyone playing along at home, that is building number 25 on the map. As you entered, you were immediately greeted with an incredibly gruesome sight of two grisly murders. One, a woman who was put through the log splitter, and the other, a man who was hung up on the wall by hooks with what you now know to be the Sahedron rune carved into his chest. Lots of blood. Toshi, you sort of smelled a scent of rotting meat. So, what are you guys doing? Let's just jump straight in, shall we?
I kill Voren.
Just shank him from behind. Yep, good.
He just wants to be Dave.
What is
Obviously. Same, though.
What does this Sanhedrin thing look like?
I'm so glad you asked, because...
Actually, very similar to what's in the middle of the compass.
Yeah.
Weirdly, exactly that.
I want to activate my detect evil.
Yeah.
Just keep it running.
You want to activate your sexy lol, apparently.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, no, that's not a problem. Let me double check something. Now, detect evil detects lingering evil, is that correct? As if detect Voren, you do detect Voren. He's about 10 feet away from you.
Okay.
Yeah.
There was a second murder that had happened. Sorry, there was a first murder that happened, and this is a second murder.
Correct.
Where did the first one happen?
Just south of town. There is a guard outside waiting to take you to that site after you're done here.
So,
Alrighty.
yes, it does detect lingering auras.
How long does that last for? Like, how long do the auras last for?
How long the aura lingers at this dim level depends on its original power, so that's entirely up to you.
Cool. It's in like 3 bands, isn't it?
The strength of an aura is, yeah.
What are they?
So there's 4. So there is faint, moderate, strong, or overwhelming.
Tell me about strong and overwhelming.
Okay, so it would be an evil aligned creature's hit dice between 26 and 50 for strong, or 51 and over for overwhelming.
Okay.
An evil aligned undead for strong hit dice is between 9 and 20, or 21 and higher for overwhelming. An evil aligned outsider strong is 5 to 10 hit dice first, and then 11 or higher for overwhelming. A cleric or paladin of an evil alignment strong is 5 to 10 class levels, or 11 or higher for overwhelming. A evil aligned magic item or spell strong is 16 to 20 cast levels, and overwhelming is 21 or higher cast levels.
Okay. That's an interesting point. So how long does the strong undead last?
1d6 times 10 minutes.
Okay, you don't detect anything.
Oh, cool. Good to know.
You don't detect any evil in your direct presence.
The swing of like the whole lumber mill.
Yeah, you don't detect anything sort of in the lumber mill.
Toshi, did you tell us about the extra rotten meat that you could smell?
Nope. Just stank.
The guy who was flayed, you said he has the symbol carved into him?
Correct, into his chest, about yay big, sort of like taking up most of his chest. It's pretty well carved for being carved in skin.
Hey, Saf.
Yes.
Can you detect any magic, like lingering magic around?
Oh, one moment. And Saf is going to cast Detect Magic and look around, do the same as what you did, cover the whole sawmill. And Saf comes back and says, no, I don't detect any magic lingering or present other than what you're carrying yourselves.
And nothing from Oldmate's chest, like nothing from the rune itself on Oldmate's chest.
Focuses a little more and says, no, not that I can detect.
Thanks, Saf.
That's okay.
Is there anything out on the dock?
So you have a look out on the dock. So
yeah, The water and so forth.
Yeah, so it's pretty easy to tell that the timber delivered to the mill is delivered by here. Go ahead and make a perception check, please. You actually do find out on the dock a set of muddy footprints that leads from one end of the pier up to the mill itself. Go ahead and roll me a survival check. Just you, Tom.
Survival.
Just you, Solomon. 24. You know without a doubt.
Natural.
Amazing. You know without a doubt that a barefoot human man climbed up from the mud under the pier, crossed over to the mill, and then scaled the wall to an upper floor window.
Okay.
You
Did
can
he
follow
come
the
from
track.
the other side of the bank? No.
Okay.
Okay. Did he come from the other side of the...
It's entirely possible, but you'd have to go
Okay.
around and have a look.
Has anyone already checked where he went in, that upper floor?
No.
Okay.
You are the only person that knows that information.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm presuming that this place isn't so big that if I screamed or yelled out, the guys wouldn't be able to hear me?
As a note, and I'm going to tell Solomon this because he would know. I'm going to tell you this because Solomon would know. You were asked to keep the investigation quiet by the sheriff to not cause a panic.
Yep. What I'm asking is, if I leap in that window and someone stabs me, can I call Voren and Toshi for help?
Yeah.
Sweet. I'm going to try and pole vault up the window.
All right.
Well, you come back inside and let us know what you're doing.
Nah. Go ahead and roll me an acrobatics check. I love it. I'm a big fan. Acrobatics 12. Voren and Toshi, you hear and just a building shattering thud from the outside wall.
Cool.
Do you guys think you found something?
It sounds like you ran into the wall.
While they're busy discussing, and I'm going to be trying to get up in there anyway.
Yep.
Do I go for it again?
Go ahead and roll me a climb check.
Walk out to where we heard the sound from.
Yeah. No worries. You see Solomon probably hanging bodily from the second floor window, and then definitely like sort of caught in the act, just sort of looks over as like, hey guys.
I'm going to shake my head, walk inside, and find way up upstairs.
There's a open staircase.
Cool.
I'm going to call Toshi over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Toshi, pyramid style. And I'm gonna do the pose that we took last time, where she jumps on my shoulders. I'm ready.
Yeah.
Toshi just looks over to Voren walking upstairs and goes, I'm just gonna take the stairs.
The stairs. Stairs are easier. Go ahead and roll me another climb check, Solomon.
Alright.
I will be ready at the window to help him.
Yeah, cool. It's bad. Like by the time you get to the window, it's like like hips in, like legs dangling down, just like sort of like not quite turtle on his back kind of feeling, but close.
Yeah. I'm shake my head as I help him through the window.
Just haul him bodily through the window.
Alright. Solomon, a little bit embarrassed, is gonna totally shrug it off.
Yeah.
And start looking around for these tracks.
Brilliant.
So going to let us know what you're thinking, Solomon? What's going on?
I would tell you now that I'm presuming Voren and Toshi are both there, so I'd tell you guys why I was trying to jump in the window and what I found outside, etc. You want me to actually do that, or
no?
I would tell you everything I know.
Yeah, that's fair.
No worries.
So
upstairs here, What you do notice that you hadn't before is there is a hand axe embedded in the floor near where the log splitter, like the top of the machinery is. The top of the machinery is upstairs. There's a hand axe embedded into the floor here.
Fine.
A hand axe from splitting logs, or is it like a battle axe?
Do you want to take a closer look?
I do.
Roll me a perception check first.
I am going to get my head cut off. I'm gonna walk into a trap and.
What was that, Warren? Sorry.
Can I swing detect evil over it?
Yeah. You don't detect any evil. Okay. However, as you get close, Solomon, you do notice that the handle is covered with bloody finger marks. And as you look closer to the head, you notice two things. First, smears of what looks like rotten flesh and fragments of bone are caked on its blade. And second, even you can now smell the stink of rotting meat. I need you to make a fortitude save. As it gets in your nose, something is dead. It's almost like something is dead right in front of you, other than the bodies. Amazing.
Remember the hagfish. Swallow it back down.
That makes it worse.
You are sickened for 6 minutes. I will let you know when that's up.
All right.
As the stench gets in your nose.
Do we just see him start puking?
You definitely see Solomon start.
And
kind of thing.
You okay, there, Solomon?
Nope. I'm just gonna turn around, run, and jump back out that window.
Yeah, for sure. Go ahead and roll me an acrobatics check. And Voren,
come on.
Are you going to examine the axe any closer, or you do manage to stick the landing?
Awesome.
So it's got bloody fingerprints on the handle.
Yeah.
And chunks of flesh on it.
Chunks of rotting flesh and fragments of bone. Sorry, go ahead.
I'll say there's not really anything more that I could learn from looking at it.
Go ahead and roll me a knowledge religion check. Fantastic. As Solomon sort of runs past and creates a breeze that sort of wafts past you in front of you, you do catch a breath of it, and immediately that's a ghast.
Okay.
You should be a ghast.
It is a lingering stink of corruption beyond that which a dead body normally produces. This axe was likely used within the last 24 hours against some form of corporeal undead. And you distinctly recognize the scent of a ghast. The specific undead is a ghast. Ghast. You probably don't know a huge amount about them, but you've definitely fought them before.
Okay.
Everything okay, Warren?
Nope.
Oh.
So this is possibly the work of an undead, or this axe was used on an undead, or Gus, or are they particularly strong? They're not particularly strong undead, but they
probably give you guys a run for your money.
Yeah. Are they intelligent?
With roll me another knowledge. Oh, yeah, roll me another knowledge religion. It's not as hard this time, but yeah. Okay.
I got so many puns running through my head.
Right.
It's ghastly.
It's ghastly.
Man, these puns stink like the axe. Just make it choppy already. Come on.
They are intelligent, but you're not quite sure exactly how intelligent they are.
Okay. It's more than just the
They are definitely not mindless.
Yeah, more than just the mindless run-of-the-mill zombie or skeleton.
Very much so, yes.
It's possible that. I mean, I guess it's possible that it could be doing this on its own, uncontrolled. Something that we do have to consider. Solomon, what were the tracks?
Solomon's still outside. He's breathing fresh air.
Yeah.
Feeling sick.
Just called down out the window.
Yeah, go over the window and be like, hey Solomon, what were those tracks that you were following? Like, what creature made those tracks?
I'd like to take a closer look at them.
Yeah, they look like the tracks of a human male. Full grown human adult male.
And they were barefoot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So, yeah, barefoot adult male.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can tell it's a man from his leftwards gait. I don't know.
He does that weird outward step.
Yeah.
It'd be like the size and imprint of the foot.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, it'd be the width and the length of the foot most likely.
Yeah.
This was either a man or a butch lady.
I mean,
this is all
Here's
too
an
messy.
interesting question for you, Solomon. Can you tell how tall they are by the length of the stride?
I'd measure it out, and yeah, I should be able to tell.
Go ahead and roll me a. Jeez, that's a good question. Yeah, no, go ahead and roll me.
Heal? No.
Imagine it would just be survival again.
Yeah, I would say survival. I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
20.
Nice.
Yeah. Okay.
I rolled an 18.
Not bad. Probably somewhere between like, and you don't get quite the exact. He's 167 centimeters tall. No, he's probably about between 5'8" and 5'10" ish.
How tall is Toshi?
5'6".
Yeah, I think so. Toshi's 5'2".
5'2".
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Toshi's short.
I would.
Toshi is small.
I would give you. I would give you a comparison between two people we know and be like, they're between this height and this height. So like between Amiko's height and
yours,
the captain's height.
Yeah.
No one's as tall as me.
No, you can just say
tall boy.
Between
you can just say 5'8" and 5'10". Yeah, that's fine.
Fair enough.
Average human height. Average human male height.
Yeah.
Cool. Average size.
What was that stink, Warren? Because I still don't know about the ghast.
Okay. Probably shouldn't be saying that out the window.
Please do.
But
I would love to roleplay a riot.
Right.
I'm kidding. Or am I?
What, you don't
Who else
think
is gonna be
Toshi's
out on
honeyed words
the-
could calm them?
How about you meet us back downstairs and we'll talk about that, Solomon. I'm gonna have one more quick look over up here and see if there's anything else that might stand out, or
Alrighty.
If those muddy tracks go somewhere, obviously downstairs.
Meet me out on the jetty, and I'm going to stroll down the jetty, and I'm going to keep looking around down there.
Yeah, not a problem.
I'm staying in the fresh air.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so just roll me a heal check. And nice. No, that's fine. You already know that. You already know that. Okay. Cool. As you look a little closer at the man's body, man by the name of Harker, you see a few deeper, a few other wounds that are not just on the chest. They are not made by a forged weapon. They are actually made by what seem to be claws, a 5-fingered human-sized hand.
Remember more about ghasts.
You also see that there is also a faded tattoo of a raven across sort of Harker's lower left side, down near his hip ish.
Go downstairs and out back to Solomon.
Yep.
He's the guard at the back or at the front? Or like
he stayed at the front door.
Okay.
There is, what you can see, there is also a guard on either side, sort of. So you'd be out here, right? There's a guard. Let me just, there's a guard like there, a guard there, a guard on all corners.
Yep.
And then 2 at the door, and then the one that was waiting for you. Is waiting for you, rather.
Don't want to draw attention to the issue at all, but
to be fair, roll me a knowledge local, actually. Are you untrained in knowledge local?
It's not a class skill. The only
how is that even possible?
Knowledge skills that I get is
religion.
Religion.
Yeah, okay.
And I don't have any points in ability. I don't have the skill points to spare because I only have a +2 intelligence.
That's fair. I will say, being in town for 4 years, you know a lot of the locals. This particular building is owned by the Scarnettis. They are not exactly the most savory family. And this is not an uncommon occurrence that their sawmill is locked down. For some reason or other.
No. Good to know.
Yeah. They're not... They're kind of like the mafia, a little.
Yeah, they're the mafia.
Yeah. It's a completely legitimate business. Used illegitimately.
Money laundering.
Something like that.
Yeah, that's okay.
I'm pretty sure money laundering is still legal in this setting.
Who knows? But in any case, you meet Solomon at the end of the jetty.
Bye.
Presuming that there's no one who can see no one who can hear us from this far.
As long as you sort of keep your voices to a dull roar, you should be fine.
Oh, wow, that's certainly louder than I was expecting to talk.
So, you mean how Vorn usually speaks?
Yeah, pretty much.
And
I would call
sneaks?
that a grumble. Dwarves grumble.
Yeah. So
Yep.
in a conversational grumble.
Yeah, conversational
I will
grumble.
Say to Solomon, I think we may be dealing with an undead. A possibly intelligent undead. That smell is characteristic of a ghast. Plus, there is also claw wounds on Harker, the male victim, in there.
Okay. Would you describe a ghast for Solomon? AKA me.
Can I roll another knowledge religion?
So you know that ghasts are basically they can take on pretty much any form. No, that's not exactly true. They're like meaner, nastier, smarter zombies.
Zombies are ghouls.
Okay.
Probably closer to ghouls, but Solomon might understand zombies more.
Zombie better.
Yeah.
But
So, with that information, if I look at the tracks again, would I say they are a person's walking normally? I'm presuming that a ghast doesn't move fluid like a human.
It looks normal.
Would he pass as a human?
The tracks that you're looking at look normal and human.
I didn't get high enough on my religion check to be able to answer your question, so.
Okay.
Well, I think they can be the same exact thing. If they're barefoot like you're saying, most likely it is an undead thing. Because undead don't always wear shoes.
You, Toshi, have you noticed anybody around town that stinks particularly bad?
No.
No.
But I could probably wander around tonight.
What are the weaknesses of a ghast?
Don't know. Probably typical undead weaknesses. My lay on hands would hurt them.
Yeah. Yeah. Pretty much that.
Holy water.
Doesn't really do anything.
Yeah.
Holy water's more for and you would know this, foreign. Holy water's more for like vampires and specific uses.
Yeah. I will just clarify that to Solomon that holy water is not a catch-all against undead
and evil.
And evil. It's just holy water. It's just water that's been blessed.
Because Solomon was about to go and arrange a barrel of holy water to each of the pubs.
Amazing.
No.
Fantastic.
Would you like a glass of water with your meal?
Wow.
Good
Fantastic. I mean, that's brilliant. I love it.
I would ride out any vampires in the town.
Very much would. You might piss some people off.
Yeah.
Hang on. So, how many undead people do you think there are in town?
It's a great question.
Somewhere between 0 and 100?
Definitely between 0 and 100.
It could be the entire town is vampires.
Could be.
Just adapted to living in the daylight.
Solomon's going to take account of this, and he's going to remember next time he's in the synagogue or whatever to arrange some deliveries of holy water.
Okay. Noted.
Okay.
Wow.
Cool.
So where to?
We have another crime scene to inspect.
Also, Solomon, just as a reminder, the the footprints came up from underneath the jetty, and you did ask about the marsh on the other side of the river there.
Yep, I did.
Mm-hmm. Just
I'm
if you wanted to bring it
I
up.
would check that out later.
Okay.
Yeah, I would mention that to the guys, and I would have mentioned it to them earlier.
Well, now's the time. You're standing right here.
Yeah.
Okay. Are there any? Are there any footprints or anything coming out of the sawmill that resemble the footprints we've already tracked?
Not that you have seen.
Okay. Then I would. Solomon can swim. He could cross that little lake, or we
Easily.
could go for a walk around and cross on the bridge. I'd ask Varun if he wants to go around to the other side, or if I'm just going to take a swim.
How about I wait here? You swim over, and then
Okay.
come back. That'll be a bit quicker than like a 20-minute round walk.
Solomon will take the swim and go check out the other side of the bank.
Yeah, no worries. Just go ahead and roll me a real quick swim check.
This is when I roll my natural one.
Yeah, that would be fantastic. It's not a hard check.
Drowns in like 2
I'm
different
across.
feet of water.
I hope.
Super easy. Super duper easy.
Can I
Roll
take
me-
20 to look for?
You can, in fact, take a 20. It will take some time. But you can, in fact, take a 20.
I would like to do that.
Yeah, cool. So you spend a good 15, 20 minutes searching this side of the river. And you do find a relatively dry spot that bears a number of barefoot human tracks and a lingering stink of rotten flesh. Go ahead and roll me a survival check.
Well, I'm glad that came up now and not on the previous roll.
It just looks like a whole mess of overlapping footprints. You can't really make too much sense of it.
Can I even tell that it's one person?
You don't know. It could be one and like just walking over and over and over themselves, or it could be up to 5 or 6 people.
Okay, let me just check in my my equipment for a second. I have I have a branch with some blue flowers and red thorns. I'm gonna jam it into the ground over here.
Lovely.
Yep, and that's just gonna be my marker.
Yeah, for sure.
Wave to Toshi and Varun and points at this, and swim back across to them.
Cool. You guys get the wave, and then you get the sense that Solomon found something. And you swim back across. Go ahead and roll me a swim check.
Here it comes.
Another natural one. Super easy.
Intimidate.
That is intimidate. Yeah, go ahead and roll me a swim check. Good call. Good catch.
I don't know why it does that.
I don't know. Yeah, you try to intimidate the water. You are not Moses, my dude. 24. Super easy. You strike back out across the river and climb back up onto the jetty. No issues at all.
Cool. I'd tell Varun and Toshi, I've found tracks over there. Too chaotic for me. We need a tracker. We need a professional. It must be someone in the guard who is used to looking for lost kids in the woods or hunting animals. We've got to find someone.
Cool. We'll go look at the other crime scene, shall we?
Let's collect all the evidence before we go running off into the woods.
Let's not mention to the guards that it could potentially be an undead. We don't want that information scattering. I would rather keep that with the sheriff only if we can. Scare people talking.
Yep. So I just want to go over the leads that you have already, and if you would like.
Yeah.
Just to reiterate, you have the lumber mill, which you have investigated. You feel you've investigated that pretty thoroughly. You also have Ebor Thorn, who works at the lumber mill and found the bodies. Ven Vinder, who is Hemlock's only suspect. However, he is pretty sure that Ven Vinder is not the murderer. You have the 3 first murders, and then you have the rune. You did speak to Saf about the rune. And yeah, so you haven't spoken to Ebor Thorn, Ven Vinder, or checked out the next murders yet. So
the sheriff said that he interrogated Thorn already.
He did, but he also did mention that they might have been able to get something out of him, that you guys might have been able to get something out of him that he couldn't.
You said 3 first murders.
Correct.
Does is that one murder scene, or is
One
that 3
murder
other
scene,
murder scenes?
3 bodies.
Which we haven't been to yet.
Okay.
Correct.
Cool.
Have we searched this place thoroughly enough that we're sure there's only 2 dead people here?
You feel pretty convinced that you've searched this pretty thoroughly.
Just
Haven't found the Scarnetti secret stash.
No, unfortunately not.
Just to recap with the other 2, we are not mentioning the potential of an undead to the guards. Oh. And then look at Toshi.
If they go looking for someone and they get hurt. Yeah. If the guards go looking for someone and they get hurt because they don't know what they're dealing with.
Yeah.
No, I'm not worried about that. Like, I am worried about that, but I'm not worried about that. What I'm worried about is if we mention to any of the guards other than the sheriff that this could be an undead, they're going to talk about that, and that's going to create the exact thing the sheriff wanted to avoid in the town.
Okay.
I mean, we've just dealt with goblins. The last thing everybody wants to deal with is the fact that there's an undead wandering around.
Especially an intelligent one.
Oh, yeah.
So, I want both of you to tell me that you are not going to mention this to any of the guards except the sheriff.
I won't mention it.
Unless
Except
it's
to the sheriff,
absolutely necessary.
Toshi.
Unless
None
it's
of the
absolutely
guards.
necessary.
None of the guards except the sheriff.
Unless it's absolutely necessary to do so.
No, it would not be necessary to mention it to any of the guards except the sheriff.
Exactly.
It is information above their pay grade. I don't trust you right now. I need your word. I need you to say the words. I won't tell anyone except the sheriff.
I won't tell anyone unless it's absolutely necessary, and currently it is not necessary in the slightest, and it probably won't become necessary later.
She's about to go for a swim.
If he can catch
Yeet!
Toshi.
Go back out the front to the guard.
Yep.
Just say that we're finished investigating here. Can we go and see the first?
Take us to the other scene?
Yeah, please.
Of course.
Should we see the captain first? Or should we go straight to the other scene?
No, go straight to the other one. Gather any information we can.
If you'll follow me.
Thank you.
And he heads south.
Cool.
Toshi follows home.
Yeah. No worries. Allow me to Just quick. So just south of town, probably about 10 to 15 minute walk out of town. Not far, but like it's probably a couple miles, maybe two or 3 miles or something like that. It's not super far, but yeah, I don't know how long a mile is, so.
2 kilometers, 2.8.
Yeah, 2 point something kilometers.
15-minute walk out of town. You are led to an abandoned barn along the banks of a creek. And when you get there, the guard relays that... actually, sorry, you remember that the sheriff did say a patrol of guards along the Lost Coast roads were assaulted by a deranged man near this barn. Man was obviously sick and insane, his flesh fevered, eyes wild, mouth frothing, and clothes caked with blood. The guards subdued him, but when they checked inside the barn, they discovered the mutilated bodies of 3 men. Although all 3 bodies were far too disfigured to identify, one of them carried a piece of parchment that the guard now hands to you, Voren.
What does it have on it?
Sorry?
We'll look at it. What does it have on it?
So it reads, Messrs. MESSRS, Messrs. Mortwell, Hask, and Tabe. A deal has come about that I need capital for. It involves property and gold, and though I am not at liberty to tell you the exact details, it will make us all rich. Come to Bradley's barn on Cougar Creek tonight, and we can meet there to discuss our futures. And it is signed in the same pen that signed the note with your name on it. It is signed, Your Lordship.
Presuming you'd share that with us, Byron, or?
Yeah. I would have read it out loud and mentioned that this is the same penmanship as the other letter that had my name on the bottom of it.
So these must be the 3 sirs. 3 men who were summoned.
You gather that that's probably the deal, yeah. You would know Voren.
God, if
Sorry. Go ahead.
I'd ask the guard if those names are recognized and they know who they are.
Yeah. And Voren, you also recognize those names.
Yeah.
Tarch Mortwell, Lena Hask, and Gedwin Tabe. They are 3 notorious conmen and swindlers. They're very well known to Sheriff Hemlock and the guard and any sort of people who take on a protective role of Sandpoint as general local troublemakers. The sheriff, you do remember the sheriff personally forbidding these 3 men from operating their con games and barely legal operations in Sandpoint, probably about 6 months ago. Finally had enough of them and just get out, don't come back, basically. It's not really surprising to find them murdered. It was really only a matter of time before they sort of tried to swindle someone worse than themselves, after all.
Doesn't necessarily excuse it, though.
Yeah.
Going back to the description of the person that the guards subdued.
Yes.
Would that, in my mind, fit what a ghoul aghast could look like?
No. Okay. And in fact, if you mention sort of that, if you ask more about that person of the guard that is with you, he does say, we've actually identified him as one Graced Sevilla. Local thug. He's been handed over to the care of Aaron Habe, the caretaker of an independent sanatorium south of town. If you would like to speak with Graced to learn more, I have been authorized to allow you by the sheriff. But however, I would probably warn you that he is in the sanatorium for a good reason.
So I can gather that. Did he have any connections to was it Morwell, Hask, and Tabe?
Not a huge amount. They probably knew each other. They probably ran in sort of concentric circles, I guess. Or rather, overlapping circles is probably a better way. Everyone in the underbelly of a town as small as Sandpoint would probably know each other.
Are any of these guys Scarnetti or similar?
No.
Any of the nobles?
Nope.
Or belong to a noble house?
No.
So we can presume if the murders are linked that it's not targeting the Scarnetti.
Seems plausible. Would you like to
His door is crossed. Is he like suspected for these murders in the barn?
Graced?
Or graced, yeah. Or is this a different...
He was to start with.
Right.
However, since the guard, he's probably one of the higher ranking guards. He does say, the sheriff did say that he thought that these three con men had just run afoul of a worse criminal than them. However, since they did in fact all sport the same carving in their chest as what's his name? Harker. Yeah. As Harker, the sheriff is convinced that there is something more going on rather than just one criminal killing another in this case. If you would like to check out the barn, feel free. Otherwise, I can take you back to town and I can show you the bodies.
It will be worth looking at the barn, so let's go.
Okay. So it's right there. It's very run down. Honestly, it's almost surprising it's not falling over. There are green vines climbing up the walls and starting to take over the roof of the barn. And there is a tree that is fallen and has caved in probably the back sort of half of some of the roof and is sitting inside the barn, just sort of fallen and laying in there. You open up the barn and I would like you to roll a perception check as a group, please. As you search the entire barn. I'm assuming that's what you're doing. You can take a 20 if you so wish.
Okay, I'm going to take a 20.
Yeah.
I would do the same.
Yep, no worries. And Voron, I'm going to allow you to take a 20 as well.
That would be 22.
30, 22. Yeah, super easy. Between the three of you guys, you do smell a... It's been a few days, but it's kind of lingering, and with a 30 perception, It's definitely nearly faded, but you do smell a very similar, if not the same, rotten meat smell. There's blood everywhere, as you would expect, and yeah, gruesome murder definitely took place here, and you do smell that rotting meat smell.
Fine.
Solomon, can you see any tracks?
Most certainly can. Since it's a few days old, this will take me some time.
harder,
I'll go outside and take a 20.
Go ahead. What would that make it? A 20.
On a survival?
Yeah.
24.
25.
25. It must have rained or something between now and 2 days ago.
My bad, 22.
That's okay. It must have rained or something between now and then, because you don't actually find any tracks whatsoever.
Am I still sick?
At this point, no.
Okay.
Sorry, should have let you know earlier.
Okay, cool. Thank you. No worries, I just noticed some of my stats were negative. I'm like,
It's
what?
so fine. Yeah, no, all good. It didn't affect anything, so. Okay. So, as you sort of head back to the guard, he does say, so if you would like, we can visit the sanatorium on the way back to the city morgue, and then you can check out the body, or we can go to the morgue first, check out the bodies, and then see Graced in the sanatorium. Up to you what you would like to do first.
I'd like to go and see the bodies first.
Of course. So you head back into town. And the bodies are all lying in state in a cool basement room below the Sandpoint garrison, not far from the holding cells containing Ebor and Venvinda. So they are also right here as well. Roll me a heal check.
Thank you.
You notice the same claw marks that you noticed on Harker's body. That 5 human hand-sized claw mark. And of course the carving of the Sahedron rune into their chest.
The woman's body in the sawmill was
Eviscerated,
disfigured.
Yeah, eviscerated is the best word for that.
Yeah. Cool. Okay.
Excuse me.
The body's beginning to
Sorry.
smell.
It's sort of like it's very, very cool down here. It's cool and it's dry.
Yeah.
They aren't beginning to smell yet. It's only been a couple days.
Yeah, that's what if they were beginning to smell, I would be
worried.
yeah.
Yeah.
Thinking of some other things that might be causing that rather than natural
for sure
onset of rot.
Yeah, I get that.
Has anybody rolled the bodies over to check if has anyone moved the bodies, and has anyone looked for more carvings?
The bodies were moved from the barn to here.
Yep.
Okay. And there was nothing on their backs?
You ask, and the guard says, I can find out for you if you like, or you can have a look for yourselves.
I'll roll one over.
I'm going to look at Baron.
Yeah.
I'll roll one over.
You see some more claw marks, but you don't see any carvings or anything like that.
Is there only claw wounds? Like, other than...
Seems to be. Yeah, no, seems to be only claw wounds. You don't see any what's the word? Manufactured weapon wounds.
The guards guards
Yep.
haven't found this unusual and questioned it. I'm not going to ask, old mate, but
Yeah.
no one's mentioned it yet. Because the sheriff didn't mention it.
The sheriff was meant to mention it, but I forgot.
Okay.
So assume that the sheriff mentioned it. Yes.
Mentioned.
That's my bad.
Oops.
Yeah, sorry. Good question. I'm glad you asked. I don't pretend to be the best DM in the world. I just pretend to be okay.
You are a good DM.
Thank you, sir. Much appreciated.
So,
I
would like to go and speak to your mate in the
Yep.
crazy house.
Mm-hmm.
What's it called?
The sanatorium, habes sanatorium. Just as a note, you're already here where the two suspects, Ebor and Venvinder, are. If you would like to talk to them while you're here, totally up to you.
Oshi,
Yes.
as much as I hate that I'm asking your advice right now, do you think there's anything that we can learn from Ebor and Ven?
Never hurts to find out. They might know nothing.
Solomon's
They
gonna
might
pipe
know.
up. You can learn if they're evil. Presuming you'd sweep them with detect evil.
Never hurts to ask.
Saf speaks up and says, if I may, I find that people are usually more forthcoming with someone they respect as not part of law enforcement.
Yes. However, we are a part of law enforcement now.
But they don't know that we are.
No. Okay.
Oh, of course. Sorry.
Don't be sorry. It was a valid point.
If
Very valid point.
If they're suspects already,
Mm-hmm.
what if we got the sheriff to come in here and tell them they're getting hung tomorrow?
No.
And then Father Voron can come to serve last rites.
No.
And any admissions before they are killed.
No. No.
Well, hey, they would be more forthcoming.
No, they would not.
You're gonna die.
What is your alignment, Solomon? Holy shit!
Evil now.
Bruh.
I'm neutral. That makes me this kind of person.
Okay.
Okay.
I just died.
And it's not evil. I'm not actually going to kill the guys. I'm just going to make them think they're going to die.
That is psychological torture.
Yeah.
So you're just going to walk upstairs with that idea in mind?
No! No, wait! Oh, God.
I will ask the guard if I could speak to the two suspects, please.
Of course, yes. Come with me. And heads upstairs. Oh my gosh.
You are from the church.
Doesn't mean
he's a paladin, not an inquisitor. Heresy.
Wow.
Wow. Anyway, let me try and regroup from that. Who would you like to speak to first, Ebor Thorn or Venvinder?
No, Ebor.
Ebor?
Yep.
Fair enough.
Apparently. That's my friend's cat's name.
Mabel. Mabel is a good name. Okay. Ebor is a young man, handsome if a bit narrow-faced. You find him in his cell, sort of like 1,000 yards staring at the opposite wall. the guard sort of before as he goes to unlock the cell, he sort of stops and says, just in a undertone, just be gentle with him. He's been through a lot.
He's not a danger.
We don't think so.
Okay. I'm gonna take my hammer off my back and
Of course.
take all of my weapons off me. Just put them down outside the cell.
Yeah.
Do you want me to come with you?
No, I do not.
Okay.
Okay.
Step into the cell and I'll sit not directly opposite him, but on the opposite wall, just off to his side a little bit. So I'm not
in his
directly in his vision.
in his face.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, not a problem.
Presuming that the cells have bars and not doors or anything.
Yes.
It's not like a closed room.
Sure. We'll say sure. He's still sort of staring off into the distance.
Yeah. I'm just thinking of how to broach this. Lad, are you here? Can you hear me?
Sort of blinks and shakes his head and looks over at you. Yeah, I can, yeah. I'm here.
Good. I understand that you've been through a lot recently. Saw some pretty gruesome stuff. I would like to help you with that, if I can.
I've already I've already told the sheriff everything I know.
That's okay. I'm not demanding more answers from you. I just want to talk to you. I want to get a gauge of how you are and how you're feeling. Which, judging by what I can see, I don't imagine this very well.
What's your bonus to diplomacy? I can't imagine it's
2.
very high.
No, it's 2.
Okay, cool. I'm not going to ask you to roll that. He sort of relaxes a little, but he's not like you can tell he's still nervous.
Yeah. Igor, I don't think that you've done anything wrong. I don't think that you have anything to worry about.
Just get a sort of like a small nod and
can you, if you can, just go through what you told the sheriff with me. Just talk to me about it. Just here to help you process it and sort of carry that weight through, counsel you through it.
I don't even know where to start.
Start with the very first thing that comes to mind.
Parker was a good friend, you know. Maybe not a great man, but a good friend to me. And he sort of just like looks at you a little.
I understand what it's like to lose a good friend.
He like sort of sighs heavily and like I said, he might not have been a good man or a great man.
Change the situation.
No. And he sort of looks out the door and he sort of leans in. Is Ven here?
Ven is nearby.
Um,
Why is that a concern?
well, and he sort of lowers his voice into almost a whisper and leans in. Well, Harker would meet with Katrine, Ben's daughter, very frequently at midnight in the sawmill. However, Ven is a very protective father. I don't think he's capable of this.
Do I know from my time in the town? Do I know of Ven and
Roll
what
me a
he's
sense
like as a
motive,
person?
first of all.
Sense motive.
Cool. Two things. First of all, Ven Vinder is the owner of basically the general store. This guy is where Forge Master Cadril Torgas would have bought you your new teapot.
Cool.
He has an incredibly short temper and has been known to fly off the handle. However, he is most of the time more bark than bite. He has been in a few fistfights. Usually booze is involved. But he's never hurt anyone seriously. Ever. Second thing. Ebor is definitely holding something back from you.
Okay.
You can tell by the way he sort of half starts saying something and then changes what he's going to say and sort of looks at you out of the corner of his eye and sort of trying not to meet your eye. And yeah.
Okay. Okay, lad. You don't have to hide anything. Like I said, you're not in trouble. You're okay. I'm here to help you work through this. I understand that, I understand your concern about Ven, but he's just a protective, loud father. You and I both know that he wouldn't go to that gruesome extreme. The woman's body, did we have an idea of who that was?
That is Katrine.
Yeah. Sorry, that was me talking to you.
Yeah.
And we, both you and I, both know that his rage would not cause him to do something like that to his own daughter.
I agree. Like I said, I don't think he's possible. I don't think it's possible. I don't think he's capable of doing this. I didn't think anyone was capable of doing this.
Sometimes there are things that drive people to do very extreme things. Often when religions are involved. But that's not a massive concern for you.
I don't know about
Just talked
religion.
No.
And he sort of glances at the guard, and he's scared of saying something to incriminate himself. You feel?
Okay. Would you be more comfortable talking to me if I got the guard to step away?
Get a very small nod.
Okay. I'll pop up. I'll go over to the door, and I'll just ask the guard to
take a walk.
Yeah, take a walk.
Yeah.
The
guard leans in and
he's okay.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay. I will be back in 2 minutes.
Cool. I'll go and sit down again.
Guard heads off down the hallway.
Cool. People, it's just you and me.
He sort of waits for a good sort of 5 count and says, Harker has been cooking the books for some time now. I never took part in any of the scams, but Harker might have stashed away quite a lot of money from skimming off the top of sales and business over the past several years. The Scarnettis, you know what they're like. They have a reputation for being ruthless in their businesses, and I'm sure you've been around for a few years. I'm sure you've heard the rumors that they're responsible for burning down several competing grain mills in the region, and personally, I wouldn't put it past Scarnettis to hire someone to kill Harker if they had found out that he's been embezzling money.
That's a fair assumption. But for that person to do that to Katrine as well,
as I said,
it doesn't seem connected.
If they were both there.
Yeah. I understand what you're saying. I'm not saying that you're wrong. But I understand. You don't have to worry about me spreading that information. I'm not going to tell anyone that.
Thank you.
Tell me, talk me through what you went through.
He speaks about starting the day as a normal day and heading to the sawmill like he normally would every day. And the only weird thing was that the door was unlocked. And he sort of gets that 1,000-yard stare again as he disassociates and dispassionately describes walking in and finding the bodies in the state that they were. His eyes are unfocused and...
Yeah. Just say his name to get his conscious thought back.
It probably takes a couple times.
Yeah.
And then he'll shake himself again and he'll just... I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's okay. You're okay. It's okay. It was quite the sight.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry that you had to see that.
Thank you. If you don't mind, I'd like to be alone for a while now.
Of course. No worries.
And Father Varn.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome, love. If you need anything, anytime, you can come talk to me.
Just sort of nods and just a heavy sigh.
I'll leave the cell.
Yeah. Probably a good 15-20 seconds later, the guard comes back.
Yeah. I'll be putting my weapons.
Yeah.
No, actually, I won't. Because I'll go and talk to Ben next.
Yep. No worries.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you head to Ben's cell. Sorry.
Guard say anything? Does the guard say anything?
The only thing he says was, is there anything? Did you find anything out?
Not really. There's nothing that we don't already know that he could say.
would you like to speak to Ben?
Yes, please.
Of course, this way. And he leads you down the hallway, probably the other end of the hallway. They're keeping them sort of very separate. And Ven Vinder is sort of sitting on probably on the ground, just head thrown back, one knee up. An absolute shell of a man. And you see his eyes, his face is dirt streaked, and just he's definitely been crying.
Yeah, he's just lost his daughter.
Yeah. You do also notice that his hands are, every single knuckle is busted and bloodied, and the wall sort of above where he is sitting is just streaked with blood.
Yeah.
Both hands are very, very swollen. Probably broken.
Cool.
The guard does say Ven was the first person that the sheriff spoke to after learning of the murders. But when, and this is on the way down to the cell, so not when you are at the cell. When Ven was informed of his daughter's death, he flew into a rage, and the sheriff took him into custody and put him in the cell to let him cool off. He definitely inflicted some damage on a couple of the guards. They're okay. Bruises more than anything. He broke one of their noses. He's
good,
a strong lad.
Yeah.
We're pretty sure that his rage is born from the death of his daughter, not from guilt at being caught.
Yeah.
And the guard to say, the sheriff, I went and checked, and the sheriff is willing to release Ven if you are happy with that.
Okay. I'd still like to talk to him.
Of course.
And do you have a runner that can do something for me? Do you have a runner that can do something for me?
I can get one, yes. What do you need?
2 mugs of ale, please.
Of course. And I will have them as soon as possible.
Cool.
And he lets you into Ven's.
I will wait until I get the ale before I go in.
Oh, of course. Cool. Not a worry. It's only probably about it's only a couple minutes. And there's a runner that comes back with 2 mugs of ale.
Have I had much to do with Ven before?
Any sort of general gear that you need that you don't make yourself, like cups, plates, teapots, rope, stuff like that. He's the guy you talk to. So you have a working relationship with him, at the very least. Okay. It may not be. It's probably cordial, even.
Okay.
Yeah, friendly, I would say.
Cool. Good. Well, I'll go in and just hey Ven. Yeah. For him, one of the mugs.
He just sort of looks over at you, looks at the mug, looks at his hands, looks back at the mug, reaches out, and in just absolute agony grabs the mug and just starts drinking it. He's already taken it off you.
Yeah. As he's doing that, I'll say, if you don't mind, I'll just deal with that real quick for you. And I'll just reach out and tap him on the shoulder.
Right.
And do my lay on hands to
heal
his hands.
Yeah, no worries. There's a wave of relief. Yeah. That is what lay on hands is for. That right there. Love it. There's a wave of relief wash over him as he sort of nods at you, and he looks kind of sleepy. at this point now. As the knuckles sort of scab over, they're not the swelling goes down. Probably not back to as they were, but at least they're not broken anymore.
Yeah. Cool.
Go ahead and mark off her use of lay on hands as well.
Yes. Yeah.
He says, Father Warren, thank you.
You're welcome.
What can I do for you?
I want to check on you. You well, did a mighty fine job on that wall.
So looks up at it. Maybe I should look into getting an invitation. Fight clubs.
You know that's not my thing, but you know, I'm sure
From
you
what
do a
I
pretty good job.
heard, and he sort of looks over at Solomon. Kid did all right.
Wait, we followed them?
I'm assuming you guys are there.
Okay.
I don't
Unless-
think you can see us because Voron would have shooed us away.
Possibly. Possibly.
No, I would have just left you outside.
That's what I've
Yeah.
been going with.
Okay.
Okay.
Fair enough.
Otherwise, I would have been doing sense motive on the guards throughout their whole conversation as well.
Yeah. Fair enough. I'll keep that in mind if you would like to be in earshot. If not, then totally up to you guys. Voron has not shooed you away. He's
I would
probably
like to
said,
be in
leave
earshot.
this to me.
Yeah. Be quiet, especially Toshi.
Honestly,
I
anything in this
I
place
would
is
have done
probably
the salute.
shot.
Yeah, that's
I would have
that's
done
true.
the salute to the good fighter.
Yeah, for sure.
Sorry, I'll just say that I'm sorry for his loss. I know you probably heard that a lot today, and you're probably going to hear it a lot more shortly.
Yeah.
However, I am truly sorry for it. And, I'm sorry that such an event can happen in a town like this.
You heard that they found her with that absolute deviant.
I've seen. I don't think the poor lad meant any harm to her.
Well, harm definitely came to her.
Aye. And it came to him as well.
Sort of spits on the ground as probably deserved it.
I'm sure that could be said.
Well, I said it.
Then you're a better man than that.
I don't think you know me anywhere near as well as you think you do.
I don't think I know you that well at all. I don't think that you truly believe that what I've seen there is what anybody should have to live with, though. I'm not here to tell you that you're wrong or that you're a suspect in it or anything like that. I just wanted to check on you and talk to you. Because I care about you. Like I care about most people in this town.
He just sort of shakes his head and looks down. Did she suffer?
What I saw, it would have been quick. For her, at least.
Something, I guess. Can I go home?
You certainly
My
can.
wife is going to need me.
She certainly will.
And
Oh,
Katrine's sister is going to need me.
Absolutely. And if you need anyone, you can talk to me.
Sure, I could.
Or anybody at the church if you don't want to talk.
Not much of a man for
Thank you.
religion.
We don't have to be religious to talk about it. I'm sure a Catrol wouldn't mind having a chat with somebody else other than me. If you can stomach his stoicism.
Well, in that case, we might get along.
Thank you for my new teapot. It's nice.
I was wondering why I saw him buy one.
Needs a bit of aging, but it's fine.
We don't sell them pre-aged.
You gotta do it a special way. It's a dwarf thing.
I see.
Yeah.
I'll never understand.
A health
Probably
hazard.
not.
Yeah. OSHA. Help.
I will send for the guard to let you out. You can go home. Thank you.
And he's just an absolute defeated shell of a man. Exhausted.
Yeah. And some attitude though.
Yeah.
I'll go out to the guard.
Mm-hmm.
And just send the man home.
Yeah.
He is not going to be helpful if we kept him any longer.
I see. I'll have someone walk him home and make sure that they're taken care
Good.
of. Would you like me to escort you to the sanatorium?
Please.
Okay. And on that note, we are going to take a very quick 10-minute break. I will be in chat for a few minutes. We're just going to head straight over there, jump back in, and we will be back very shortly. Thank you so much for watching so far. And if you've got any questions, now's the time to ask. And welcome back, everybody. So, just before our break, our illustrious Father Voren spoke to Ebor Thorn and Van Vinder. Not getting too much strictly helpful information. Did find out that Harker was embezzling money from the Scarnettis, though, so, you know. A little bit of juicy gossip. So, I think your next stop was Habes Sanatorium, correct?
Aye.
Alrighty. So from here you are led to Habes Sanatorium. The squat stone building that serves as a sanatorium has 3 floors under a stout stone-flagged roof, and is built in the lee of the limestone escarpment known as the Ashen Rise. All doors are stout wooden ones, and a brisk sense of cleanliness fills the place. Floors are scrubbed and walls are freshly painted white. Narrow windows, no more than 4 inches wide, allow for air circulation, but are too small to allow access into the building. The somewhat sour smell of burning incense is around. The front door is closed, however, the guard knocks, and there is a small, probably not a small sort of slider, probably a slider about yay big, big enough for you to slide open and talk to someone through a door comfortably, not just like one of those ones, but a full, like a big, like, you know. So the door is slid open, and there is a, I guess what you could call a nurse standing on the other side. Quite young, male, shaved head, cleanly shaven. Says, how can I help you today? The guard hands over a letter. The nurse looks at it. Oh, of course. You're here to talk to Graced. Not a problem. Let me bear with me a moment. I'll see if Habe is available at the moment. And he disappears inside. After probably a good 15 minutes, the slider is thrown back violently, and there is a sallow-faced, scowling man on the other side of the door, and he says, I'm sorry, but no one can, I'm in the middle of some frightfully important work, and I cannot be disturbed. You'll have to come back another day.
No. I don't need you to talk to, old man.
Yeah.
This is Graced. The work is with him, and it cannot be disturbed.
Thank you for your time.
And the door is slammed shut.
Wow.
Josh knocks on the door.
Okay. How long between the slam and between you knocking? How long do you leave it?
30 seconds.
30 seconds. The original nurse opens up the door again, and there's a bit of a redness just on their cheek. He says, "I'm sorry. I can't allow you entry. You'll have to come back another day. I'm sorry."
Why is that?
Habe is in the middle of some very important work, and he cannot be disturbed. He cannot be taken away from it for very long. I apologize. I'm very sorry.
That's very inconvenient. Do you know why we're here?
Are you here to speak to Grace?
Dude looks at Foreign to make sure.
No.
No. Yeah? No?
Yes, we are here. We were here to speak
Okay.
to Grace in
My
regards
mind
to.
is flippy floppy right now.
It's totally fine.
Yes, we are. And it is of an urgent matter. Specifically on guard duty business.
Don't worry about it. I don't want you to get hit again by the looks of that. We can come back.
Thank you.
That's
I'm
not fair
gonna
that you
peep in there
should
as
have to
well.
work
We'll
for somebody like that.
What was that, Solomon?
let you know before we. We'll let you know before we come back. We'll give you
Right.
a little bit of forewarning.
Right.
Toshi's going to mouth to him before he closes if Habe it was
Habe, yeah.
God. Yeah. Habe sleeps here or if he has a house in town.
Roll me a diplomacy check.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's check out my diplomacy.
The nurse lingers at the door.
Mhm.
He sort of looks over his shoulder. We all stay here, on the top levels. I think. Hang on, let me just double check to make sure that that's correct. I believe it is.
Okay.
Nope, on the ground floor.
All I can think
Okay.
of right now is the asylum in Sawmill Archives book.
Sweet.
And how much they suck.
Weird, right?
Okay, that's all I need to know.
The nurse hasn't walked away yet. He
Anything else
says,
that you need from him?
I don't need anything from you. However, and he shoots another look over his shoulder just to sort of make sure that there's no one behind him. I'm not being kept captive here by any means. I can leave if I so wish. However, I do believe that I can truly help some of these patients, so that's why I stay. Raced though, there's something not right about his condition. I saw him, and his skin is pale, gangrenous even. His hair is wild, his eyes milky white. I don't think he's going to live much longer. And when I went to visit, not visit, when I went to give him a meal, I heard him say that his lordship said that he would visit, and that he has to wait until he visits because his lordship said so. It was it was uncanny. terrifying. And then when I set down the food, he looked me dead in the eye. And he said, he must come to the misgivings soon to meet the pack, for they have something wonderful to show him. I don't know who he is, but something is not right here. I have to go. And shoots a look over his shoulder again and closes the door, and you hear very, very hurried footsteps away from the door.
Okay.
What did he say again? He must come to the misgivings soon.
He said
To meet the pack.
he must come to the misgivings soon to meet the pack.
Mm-hmm.
For they have something wonderful to show him.
Yes.
Is the guard still with us?
The guard is still there. He's just sort of like probably a little bit like shell shocked kind of thing. Like what just happened?
Yeah, what did just happen?
They
to
said
ask.
that this institution was privately run.
Correct.
Who privately runs this institution?
Aaron Habe himself.
And
sorry.
he must have a contract with the town. He must have a contract with the town for the town to be sending their criminally insane here. Toshi, maybe we should go and have a word with the mayor about a random spot inspection.
What legislation is like around that?
Yeah, weird, isn't it? That's an interesting.
Honestly, my name would do that. My name would be able to do that for us.
Possibly.
I'm going to ask the guard to tell me more about Habe as we walk back to the sheriff.
Right. He says, he's there's not really much to say about Habe. He's honestly, I wouldn't wish his ministrations on anyone. He's not cruel, I think.
And it seems like he is.
Yeah. I didn't think he was. However, if he has taken a turn in recent years, then maybe this sanatorium isn't the best idea anymore.
I don't think it's a good idea to begin with.
Oh.
What happens to people if you lock them in a dark room and don't give them anything to... If you don't give them anything other than food? Like, have you ever experienced that?
I cannot say that I have.
It's not fun. That's all we can say.
Yeah. This particular guard, kind of shaken. Yeah.
Don't worry, you can wander away from us here soon, I think.
Yeah, I think I'm going to take the rest of the day off.
Before we go,
yes,
I think it might be a good idea for a few guards to be posted around here to watch this building if his lordship is going to make an appearance.
Yeah.
It would be good to have witnesses, though they must be told not to intervene if something happens, because if events have been anything to go by, his lordship is beyond their ability to intervene.
That's something you would have to talk to the sheriff about, but
yeah.
You don't see any reason why the sheriff wouldn't allow that.
Are there any people loitering on the street?
So this is actually outside of town as well.
Mm-hmm.
So no, there are no other people around. It is out of town, just a little bit, I believe, east ? South. A little bit further away. Actually, did not realize that. It's a little bit further away than the barn.
Right. Let's get back to town as quick as we can. Talk to the sheriff, and then I think we need to come back here.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds like this place is... It shouldn't be here tonight. Next?
Can I rack my brain about the condition of Grace and like the skin?
Yeah, go for it. Roll me a knowledge religion check.
I'll help you on that.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Knowledge religion.
Knowledge supernatural?
That would be religion.
Right.
Yeah.
Would be 20.
Or occult.
Yeah,
But
occult.
no.
Occult would be.
You said it wouldn't be useful.
Well, it's not going to be. Yeah, so... I'm sorry, I'm just looking for some information. There's something about that strikes you as odd. It's the pale gangrenous skin.
Yeah.
Why would it be gangrenous? It doesn't make sense to you.
Yeah. Is it like lesions or?
You're not sure. The nurse said gangrenous.
Okay. Something about that doesn't sit right.
Yeah, something about his condition and him being where he is doesn't sit right with you. You know what it is? It sounds like a physical condition, not a mental condition.
9 to 1, yeah.
Correct. Yes.
That's what I was thinking, like a disease or...
Yeah, it sounds like a physical condition, not a mental condition. You can't quite put your finger on what it is, but it does sound like a physical one, not a mental one. So why is he in a sanatorium?
Yeah. Can I roll a heal check to try and think about what kind of diseases?
You can try, for sure, yeah.
No, it's not going to be easy, but...
Yeah, without seeing what gangrenous means, then... Yeah.
Okay, I'll try anyway. No, that's okay.
There are a bunch of diseases that could do this, but you can't pick one that seems to fit.
Something.
Yeah, without seeing. Yeah.
When we get back to the sheriff.
Yep.
Yep. So is he free to talk about?
I think we should do it on
investigation?
double time.
Yeah. Yeah, he's free. Well, he's in the middle of paperwork, and you always seem to catch him in the middle of paperwork.
He's always got paperwork to do.
Always got paperwork to do.
You wouldn't think so.
It just means he doesn't do anything else.
I mean, look. He does say yes, of course, come on in. I'm just signing some requisition orders. How can I help you today? Have you found out any more information about the investigation at all?
Where to start?
Where to start?
Where to start? So there was tracks leading from underneath the jetty into the sawmill of a probably about average height. How tall is Graced?
Graced is probably near 5'11", near 6 foot.
Okay. About average height, human male. They came from over in the marsh. There's tracks on the bank of the river on the other side.
I see.
There's a distinct stench of ghast, or a ghast, hanging over.
Ghast.
Aye, a ghast, hanging over both the barn and the lumber mill. The barn's nearly gone. The smell's nearly gone. Yeah, a ghastly smell.
Ghastly smell, yes.
Thanks, Toshi.
Fantastic.
Yeah, and there was a hand axe that had bits of rotten flesh and bone on it.
So do you feel that the murderer is this ghast?
More any evidence that we can find seems to point towards.
That is
concerning.
To say the least, yes.
It's possible. Like, it's genuinely possible. And ghasts are intelligent in some way. I can't exactly recall how intelligent, but it's possible that they're intelligent enough to be doing something like this.
He sort of rubs his temple, and you see his physical stress level rise immeasurably.
I get that.
Yeah. He says, would this ghast be hiding in Sandpoint somewhere?
Don't believe so.
I don't think so.
It would be
I think that ghast is hiding in the forest outside. There's some tracks that we still need to investigate of where it came from. We need a professional tracker to further that lead, though.
It would be very hard for it to hide in the town with how distinct its smell is.
I see. It's a very potent stench.
Aye.
Good.
Sickening.
Yeah. Sickening.
Amazing. He says, okay.
How long has Grace been in the sanatorium?
Only 2 days. Did you go and see him?
Tried to.
Oh.
Habe was very against us seeing him. I apparently had some very, very important work to be doing with Grace.
I see.
And it could not be interrupted. Yeah, enough. It caused enough outrage in him to strike one of his employees. Well, I hope they're getting paid. If they're not getting paid, oh boy.
Oh boy.
However, I feel
And it caused enough concern for us.
Yeah.
We want to go and check that out.
I see.
I feel like Grace doesn't belong there. The description of his symptoms seems more like it's a disease of the body than a disease of the mind. Plus, I'm not really okay with how Habe runs things, or the whole idea of the sanatorium together.
Are you saying that you would like to force your way in there?
No.
We'd like to go in with the mayor's permission and yours.
You have mine. You are acting under my authority.
And that got us nowhere.
Yes,
I'm more wondering if we can get Grace removed from his care and perhaps sent to the church for hospice instead of that.
Right.
Also, possibly an investigation into what Habe is doing, because there is no way that locking someone in a dark room can be good for them.
The sheriff leans back and just sort of you can see the cogs turning, and he says, I agree with you on both points, Father Voron. Unfortunately, if you are correct and a ghast is loose in the area and willing to come into Sandpoint and murder people, I would like to increase the guard as invisibly as possible. However, I do have an idea on how to do that. Luckily, we do have a very fresh batch of recruits in the Sandpoint militia.
That brings up two other points.
Yes.
And we
Grace.
may have forgotten to mention what
I was about to mention
Grace was saying in there.
I was about to mention that. Grace, or the nurse told us that Grace had been saying that his lordship had said that he would visit, and he must come to the misgivings soon to meet the pack, for they have something wonderful to show him.
The misgivings, you said?
Aye.
Are you aware of what the misgivings are?
Me as a player, no.
As a character, roll me a knowledge local. You don't have it, actually, do you?
No.
You do? Yeah, Toshi, go ahead and roll me a knowledge local. Solomon, probably not. Toshi, you have spent a lot of time around Magnamarian nobles. The misgivings is the nickname given to a old, run-down and abandoned estate a little further south of where you are now. A place called Foxglove Manor.
Cool. So, that was the first point. Second point was some guards stationed around the sanatorium might not be a bad idea to watch for whoever his lordship may be coming there.
If I may, I can sign a warrant of entry. I provided your escort with a letter of introduction last time. It should have allowed you entry into the sanatorium as my deputies. However, if Habe is blatantly ignoring the fact that you are acting in my authority, I can sign a warrant that will allow you to, if he does not grant you entry, force entry.
Sounds like something we might have to do.
I would like to have you do this as soon as possible.
We'll do it as soon as
Say again.
I'm going to look at the other two and go, there's nothing better to do right now.
Well,
now.
we do have a small state to explore to the, what was it, south?
South.
Yeah.
It's halfway between Sandpoint and Magnamar.
Yeah.
So a day's travel?
Yeah.
If
just over a day.
If I could ask someone to if I could ask someone to get our horses ready, we will leave straight after we leave this office. Look at Varan and Toshi.
I would much rather go to the sanatorium first.
Yeah.
And deal with that.
That's what I'm saying. We go straight to the sanatorium, which is 20 minutes south. Literally grab the horses and go straight there. Imagining we'll get there in 5 minutes with horses instead of.
We could also probably get there by the time our horses are ready.
Look, to be honest,
stable in the north
exactly.
of the town.
I presumed our current conversation was going to go on for longer.
Yeah. It's probably fine if you just walk. There's probably no issues with that whatsoever. So
cool.
What are you guys thinking?
To the sanatorium again.
Mm-hmm.
Where's the warrant?
Yep. The sheriff very quickly drafts up a warrant of entry.
Any guards to spare? Stay with us.
No.
I would rather my deputies take care of this on their own.
We don't need backup.
Yeah. And to be honest,
It's
if
not
there
backup,
is
it's when we
something,
leave, we may need someone there.
Yeah. I will send your escort with you to keep watch, but they will be under orders to not join you inside. It just finishes off the writ of entry, the warrant of entry, and seals it, stamps it, and hands it to you, Voren.
Cool. Right.
Cool.
Onward.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for your time, Sheriff.
Of course. And if there is anything that I can help you with, to be honest, I don't feel like there is anything I could actually help you with.
Yep.
Sorry.
Thank you. That's okay. Let's go.
He sort of nods at you. And what are you guys doing? You're heading straight to the sanatorium?
That's what I'm thinking.
Yep.
Fantastic. That's actually where I'm going to call it for tonight, because I do not have the sanatorium prepped. I didn't expect you guys to be having to fight your way in, basically. So, thanks everyone for watching, and I really appreciate that. And next week, we dismantle the sanatorium from the inside, apparently. I'm pretty sure that's where this is headed. But yeah, okay. All right. I have maps to find, I think. I did not have that prepared. There you go.
Good luck.
Thank you. I'm gonna need it at this point.
That totally felt like that's where you were taking it.
No, not at all. Like that's just where you guys decided, hey, this is a thing. Let's go. Like I knew eventually you would be in the sanatorium. I didn't realize that you guys would have to like force your way in, basically.
Break down the door.
Yeah, break down the door. Yeah, definitely. Okay, and you may not yet, but we will see what happens next week. Thank you very much, everyone, for watching. Thank you guys for playing, and I will be in chat for a few minutes after this, just to answer any questions that anyone has, have a chat, and feel free to join me, guys. And gotta make a spooky sanatorium at night. That's it. That's it. I gotta get some maps. Alrighty. Thanks very much, guys.
It will be
watching.
coming to Nartab on the next one.
Yeah, it will be. Yeah, it will be.
Scariest thing in that sanitarium will be me.
Will it though? Are you sure?
If
No, I
he
think it's gonna
is, if he is doing anything like I think he is doing to those people,
that's fair.
I think Toshi's gonna be scarier, honestly.
Well,
Toshi vanishes.
We will find out. Thanks very much for watching, guys, and I'll see you next week.